Everyone has a unique gift, and Mike and Diana, host of the One Life podcast, believe that most people don't know how to use their gifts or what they are. Mike and Diana want you to see things from a different perspective and be true to yourself. The One Life podcast unites the world through art, fashion, music, and film. It inspires, motivates, and creates positive energy, love, and compassion to all communities.
The struggle is real.
And creates an equal playing field for all. On the One Life podcast, they cover topics like building relationships, overcoming adversity, habits of healthy people, and much, much more. We only have one life to live. Be yourself and live your truth. Add the One Life podcast to your playlist. That's the number 1NELife. Available on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to the One Life podcast. I am Mike Reed, and as always, I have my lovely co-host Diana from Socialholic in the building, you guys. And I have with us my boy Angelo Gann is back with us.
What's up, y'all?
To talk about pressing through difficult times. But first, let's check in with Diana with the Socialholic experience. What's going on in the AV?
All right. So a couple of things I wanted to give some love to HT Fitness. They are having a Zumba Saturdays, which begins Saturday, September 10th, which is next Saturday. Excuse me.
Oh, what's wrong with your voice?
I know. I just drank some Gatorade. So I don't know. You gave me the Gatorade. What you put in it? Yeah. So Zumba Saturdays is next Saturday, September 10th from 8:30 to 9:45 at HT Fitness. Jessica's amazing. She's really sweet. She's also on the Antelope Valley Hispanic Chamber as one of their directors. So definitely want to go support. And then let's see what else we got. Just saw Raina over at FM Dance Co last night at our Cocktails and Convo mixer.
What up, Raina?
What is up? I know. So she does Latin nights every Friday from 9 p.m. to 11. Get your groove on there. It's a $5 cover. So definitely go and check her out. Latin nights on Friday, which is great because it's right there by Don Sal's, so you can get your lessons, do some dancing, and head out.
Yeah, you know what? Last night I was talking to Raina, and I got to go tonight.
Oh yeah, you're going?
I'm going. I got to. I told her I was going to be there.
Good for you.
Isn't it advanced tonight though?
No, it's the intermediate. It's the intermediate on Fridays. But afterwards, she's having the social where she actually having a live DJ there tonight. So it's supposed to be really nice. She's been doing it for the last couple of weeks, and a lot of people have been saying, "Hey, you should do this on a regular basis." So that's why she's bringing in the DJ now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Check that out.
And then the next thing I want to mention is our AV Fair is coming soon. It's the AV Fair and Alfalfa Festival. It starts September 23rd. I know the first opening day is going to feature Train. So we want to definitely head out there. The concerts there are amazing. And that's pretty much it.
That's it for the Socialholic experience? Yeah. Well, man, let's shout out Diana from Eventually Events, you guys. Because last night she threw an incredible event, Cocktails and Convos at the Doubletree Hotels. Awesome. Shout out to Jeanette over at the Doubletree Palmdale, because it was an immaculate. Oh my God, it's hot in here and I can barely talk.
We're melting, y'all.
We're melting. The AC broke in our building, you guys.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. But you know what? That's our
persevered.
Our topic is pressing through difficult times, and we are definitely having a difficult time right now because it is hot up in here.
Fire.
Well, we do what we got to do, and we're
still here.
We're still here, and we're making it happen for you guys. But no, I want to talk about last night. Last night was an incredible event. Thank you, Diana, for always putting on those mixers because they're definitely incredible. The people that show up. I want to shout out a couple of people. Chris from Tap Truck 661. He was there. Always great to see that guy. So you guys tap in with him. Sierra from B's Music. She put on a great karaoke show last night. Our boy Andreas from Rio was in the building. Had a great time with him. Crystal from Bella. Shout out to Latifah over at Zelda, to KJ over there. Lily, makeup artist. And our girl Rena, like you mentioned, she was there.
Raina. Mm-hmm.
Raina. Why do I keep calling her
David? We got to shout out David because that was his birthday and he spent his birthday with us.
Yes, happy birthday to David yesterday. He did a great job with the reels, with everybody. Can't wait to see the finished product.
I know. Everybody was loving it. So,
it was a good time.
That was definitely a good time last night. And thanks to Angelo, you was out there as well. Our boy, you always supporting.
Always supporting my people.
So, so let's just get into this. So I wanted, first of all, we have our studio in here.
Slowly coming together.
I would say it's like 85, 90% done.
Say 75. I'm missing a couple of things. Oh, it's growing.
It's growing. It is growing. But I'm loving it. I mean, we finally got our table, got our chairs, our
like
lovely,
it?
beautiful
We need to do a
chairs.
poll. Do you like our? I know our chairs and our table. We need to do a poll because
These are nice chairs.
these are nice, comfortable chairs.
Don't fall asleep in it.
Not in this heat.
Yeah.
We got our
Fall
TV
asleep
up.
in this heat, you might not wake up.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got our TV up. But so today I invited Angelo on the show because one, he's such a great guy, and if you guys never got the chance to talk to Angelo throughout the Antelope Valley at a couple of our hot spots, very intelligent guy, very cool guy, very humble guy. Definitely, I consider him a good friend, and I want to thank him personally because he's helped me put this studio together. He helped me paint in here. He helped me put the panels on the wall. So I do definitely want to thank you, man, for giving your time and always just being there when a brother needs you.
You're welcome, brother. And it's
Thank
my
you,
pleasure.
Angela.
It's my pleasure. I love to help. That's what I do.
Yeah, I brought the vision to life. Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean this was Diana. This was Diana's vision. Like she picked out the colors, she picked out the chairs, the table, the panels.
So a little bit of adversity, but it was a good impression. It's okay. I got repeatedly texts. Are you sure?
Are you sure? I just like to be sure. That's all. I didn't say I didn't like it. I was just making sure before I hit that buy button.
It really did come together really nicely.
Yes.
The colors, the furniture. I mean,
And I only asked you that one time because I just didn't like the fact that the chairs, it was the shipping cost of the chairs. I was like, whoa, like, are you sure you want these? Like,
Invested. It's an
is it a
investment.
place where I can actually go pick them up? Like, because the shipping was like more than the chairs.
I drive to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
Take a flight.
Gas was cheaper. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, so we coming along. I can't wait till everybody see it. I'm thinking about
Thanks
doing.
to Moses with our wonderful sponsor, because without him, this wouldn't be possible.
Exactly. Moses over at Money Maker Business Solutions. Shout out to Moses. He was there last night too. Let's not forget about Moses.
He was.
That's right.
He was there last night.
He caught me on a good one too. We got a video going. I was like, oh man, I had a cocktail in me for sure.
I saw that video this morning.
I was
And one,
cracking
I
up.
didn't know you guys
didn't
did a
see it.
video, and I felt a little hurt because I felt left out.
You need to talk to Moses about that, because all I remember was walking and he's like, come here, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we're going to do a video. I said, okay. I had a cocktail.
Couldn't say, wait, I need my co-host.
You know what? I keep
Since
telling
you were talking
you
about
this.
the podcast. Diana just wants the spotlight to herself. It's okay.
No. I mean, that happens. I can't fight that, but no,
That's
that was just life.
It's all
man.
good.
You
I
gotta
ain't
be,
even tripping.
you gotta be. You were out. I'm not even gonna go there. You know what? Mike was socializing
I was socialized. That's what I do.
at the bar
At the
almost the whole night.
Wait,
A good hour. So.
I
So
wasn't-
you missed
I
a lot of
wasn't-
opportunities.
I was not at, so like you made it just seem like I was just at the bar the whole time, like I'm an alcoholic. Like,
No, not at the. You were not drinking.
yeah, in fact,
were
I had
talking.
one
Water.
drink.
You're talking
the
to
whole
one
night.
person the whole night. Look at Angelo's and
I do not
Hey.
like you guys right now. Because you guys are making it seem like I was just like,
She speaketh the truth.
We even had to talk about the whole age
Oh, really?
discrimination thing, but it's all good. We're good.
Oh,
Jeanette,
it's
what's
all
up, Jeanette? You know what I'm talking about.
hey, no, you know what? I want to shout out my little sister Leslie for coming, because I've always been telling her about your mixers, and she's been wanting to come, but she was nervous. I mean, Leslie, she's only 20 years old, but for a 20-year, and I have been mentoring her for a couple of years now. But she's nervous when it comes to networking.
It's
So
hard.
even but especially around like successful people like yourself, and everybody that I told her that was going to be there. She called me like an hour before. She's like, Mike, I really want to go, but I'm like so nervous. And I'm like, for what? I was like, just come on, she's like, just hang out with me. You're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And she ended up texting me when she got home and having a great time. She had a great conversation with Andreas,
Good.
which really helped.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
it's honestly just jumping in, getting your feet wet, because those things, I mean, I still, even when I do the ones out of the area, I still, my heart's like, boop, 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 because I'm about to talk to people that don't know me, don't know, anything, and could care less, honestly, is what I think. But I leave those networking meetings feeling so fulfilled and realizing that I was completely wrong in thinking that going in. but it doesn't fail. It doesn't matter. Every time I go, I still get nervous.
And I get it, like, because she's young and she, just to be around. And I was like that when I was her age, but I just kind of dove into it, So when a young person is like at that stage of their life, and she's very smart, so she does Airbnbs, and she owns her properties, and she's doing really great. So now she wants to buy more homes and duplexes to do more. I mean, kind of like what Andres is into as well.
Well, that's good that she talked to him.
Exactly. So she got a lot of good information from him, and I told her to keep in touch with him because she's going to learn a lot from him. She's very smart for her age, and that's why I kind of call her my little sister, because I do want to help her and kind of guide her, because she is cute, like, and I don't want people to, like, whenever I have a few young ladies like that whenever they get into like entertainment, because that's my background, I try to guide them and help them, because there are a lot of people that would take advantage of them.
Sure.
Because they're not experiencing the business aspect of it. And so when I kind of take them underneath my wing, I kind of tell them like who to talk to, who not to, and kind of watch out for certain things. Like, and she listens to me and respects that. So,
Good.
she's really good people.
The mentor thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I like people.
That's excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about. Oh my God, I didn't even. It's so hot in here. We and I apologize.
We're in the lobby still. It's all good.
We're in the lobby. We just
probably
sitting
cool.
in
Yeah,
the
we're just
lobby.
chilling.
We're chilling in the lobby, you guys. My bad.
It's under construction.
Heat rises,
Hold
so it's
on.
cooler in the lobby.
Oh my God, I don't even know my buttons. I don't even know my buttons right now. Yeah, we going to the top floor, guys, and I forgot to mention that our show is brought to us by Eventually Events, where they create magical moments and they take care of every detail so you can enjoy that special time in your life. To book your appointment, hit up Diana on IG at Eventually Events. And also our other sponsor is Money Market Business Solutions, where they help you with your business startup assistance. Reach out to Moses at 661-537-4877. Again, 661-537-4877.
I talked to him last night, so he's supposed to be giving me a template so that we can do something what he wants me to say.
Oh yeah, because we definitely we putting together a commercial for him, because he is one of our biggest sponsors. And shout out to Moses again, because he definitely been a great help and an inspiration to us. So yeah,
Cool beans.
can't wait to do that commercial. But anyways, our topic today, what I want to talk about is pressing through difficult times. So I brought up this topic, and I brought Angelo back to one, not to only just thank him and let him be a part of our new studio, but also, Angelo, like I said, is a great friend of mine, and I always call him when I just need somebody to talk to, because it's like I always say, it's all about conversation, right? Like, I don't like when people I'm not going to speak on other people, but I don't like when I give advice to other people. I'd rather just have a conversation with someone, because you just never know. Once you're talking it through with someone, things just come up in your head, and different ideas and different perspectives. Yes. But it also works, on the flip side of the coin. When I have a conversation with someone, when I need to, you make me think about other things, and I just get right. And so
in the conversation format, you get all kind of nuggets that come
Right.
into the conversation that may apply to something totally different.
right.
But
So
good stuff comes out of it.
so the reason why I picked this topic, and actually you came up with it because we had a conversation the other day, and you came up with the name of the topic because I told you what I wanted to talk about, right? So last Friday, and Diana knows my situation very well, because so me and Diana was in the studio here last Friday, and something kind of happened in my life. They kind of put me down for a second.
Temporary setback.
It was a temporary setback, and that's what I kind of want to talk about today, because for me, I always talk about my playbook. You guys always know I talk about my playbook. And when I started my playbook a couple of years ago, it's like planting seeds, right? I was able to get through this situation fairly easy because I've already planted my seeds, and I constantly work on myself. And so when something happened last Friday, it was right when Diane and I was leaving the studio here. And I knew I had to come back 2 hours afterwards to do our show. And so I went home and I had to get my mind right. And again, it's pressing through difficult times. Like even like right now, we was joking, but we're serious. Like it is really hot in here. But
It's about 90 to 95 degrees, I would say, because it's like 100 and something outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like y'all sweating right now. I see it.
Yeah, but we do what we got to do to keep things going, right?
That's right.
And So last Friday when I went through my situation, I knew I had a show to do, and if you guys listened to last week's show, you kind of see like I was kind of all over the place, and like it was just like one of those days. But you know, I tell people I'm no exception to the rules, right? No matter what, no matter how much positive energy I have, I'm always going to go through obstacles. We all going to have obstacles. There's no escaping it, right? So, you know, a lot of times people, they try to run from their obstacles, or they try to, you know, they bitch and they complain about them, and that just prolongs it. But like for me, I understood that, okay, I'm going through an obstacle, I'm in it, the one thing that I did immediately was took responsibility. And that's one thing that I know a lot of people don't do. Once that thing happened, and I don't want to get into the details, but I mean, Diana, you know, once it happened, I mean, you even know because you was with me the whole day. Like I took immediately responsibility for my actions because I put myself in that situation. So I had to accept the situation, and now let me figure out a solution. Right. Now it took me a few days because, you know, to figure out a solution because at the time when we go through our obstacles, it's just going through a process, and it's like when you and I talked about. Yeah, the process is what sucks, and I don't want to sugarcoat, and I don't sugarcoat nothing for anybody. Whenever we go through difficult times, it's just going through the process, and we all got to go through the process, and the process sucks. It really does. But once you embrace the obstacle that you're going through and kind of understand it, it doesn't have to suck as bad, right?
Right. So when you have an obstacle that you're facing, and you know it could be a bunch of shit you're dealing with, right? All at once, suddenly, all right? So I think what happens is you have to realize first, like I have to realize that this isn't the first time I've had to deal with an obstacle. You know, this is not the first time something challenging has come up, something even devastating has happened. I mean, so we deal with these things. It's not the first time. So we got through the other ones. We'll get through this one too.
Absolutely.
But in the moment that you're going through it, it's hell.
It's hell.
It's absolute hell. The process of getting through it, and this is the thing, getting through the process, you know you're going to get through this thing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and that doesn't mean you're going to like it. It's gonna suck. But you will get through it.
But and I think that's one of the keys too, because a lot of people, like I know we all know we're gonna get through it, right? Because we've been through worse.
Knows that, though. I think some people don't. Like I know people that when something happens, they're like, "Oh my God, it's over, it's all," and they don't like. You have to remind them, like, "Hey, hold on, like we've been through worse. Like this happened."
Well, in the moment, they don't, right? Because it feels like it's the worst thing ever.
It's like the end of the world.
Yeah.
There's this. I was listening to Denzel Washington, and he said that challenges and obstacles, he looks at them like opportunities.
Right.
And it's just changing your thought process, and like you went through some stuff, and similarly, I'm going through my own ups and downs right now in the last week or two, mentally and emotionally, and then also just like business. And I'm trying so hard to say, okay, what's the opportunity that I'm going to experience? What is the flip side of it? Yes, right now it's hard, and I feel like I'm spiraling, but like, let me pause for a moment, and what's the opportunity? And there was that thing that I had sent you on Instagram that I don't remember what the guy's name was, but he was saying, to be great, you have to be able to operate in chaos. Like you need to be able to function and be able to still maneuver through the chaos and like looking for the opportunities. And it's like, I think about my husband working at the restaurant, Castaways. He is literally pulled, thousands of different ways. You have 80 different servers on at one point, bartenders, servers, cleaning staff, cook staff, and they're all needing something. And when he's the manager on duty, he like literally tells me, he's like, talk about being able to manage and basically juggle multiple things at one time. He's like, I'll get like 3 servers coming, like, I need a comp, I need this, somebody wants to talk to you. He'll have a chef like, oh my God, this is happening. And then, this is over here. And the host is like, someone wants to be seated in this table, and I don't let the table. And like, he's trying, and that's just in a matter of a minute.
Right.
So he's literally like making notes, mental notes on paper, handling what's the most important. And it's like the same thing in life. Like for me, like today I had to sit down and go, okay, like what is the most important thing I have to handle first? Right. Make my list and go through that, like prioritize, because I can't do everything. And that's where I'm falling short. Is like I'm trying to handle everything at once, but nothing's getting done because I'm stretching myself too thin.
Right.
So the opportunity, where's the opportunity? And that's something for you. Like you saw, okay, there's some things I need to work on and fix and start, taking care of. Those were your opportunities. So I think that's where we have to change our thinking into, oh my God, I'm falling apart, to like, okay, what's my opportunity?
Right. And like, and Andrew, you brought up a good point to me yesterday when we was talking that, like, even like, so when I was going through my situation, at the time, like, I wasn't upset or depressed, right? I was frustrated at myself because, I took responsibility for the actions that I did previous, right, to put myself in that situation, right? And that's the one thing that I had to do. But at the same time, I was frustrated because I didn't have a solution at the moment.
Right.
Right. And that, for me, that's always going to be an issue with me, because I feel like I'm a great problem solver. And so, but when you're in the middle of something, and especially when it's new and it's fresh and it's just now going on, like I didn't have a solution. And for me, I always feel like I need a solution like right now. And I didn't. So I had to go to my playbook. And this is why I always tell people you got to have a playbook, because I had to go to my playbook and I had to just relax, take a couple of day or two, and then really clear my mind to where I can come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And just like you just said, in the moment, your mind is clouded.
Yeah. And
you're flooded with emotions about the thing that you can't really see anything else clearly.
Right.
Okay. So even though you want an immediate solution, it comes, but it doesn't come in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
It comes after when you settle your mind down, you settle yourself down and organize your thoughts, okay, recenter yourself, because I've had to do the same thing. So when you're dealing with business, and then you have family relationships and health issues, and these things just come along. So you don't immediately have control over things in that moment, but what you can do, and Diana, you into this, what you can do is lay back off of that for a minute, organize yourself,
right,
and deal with one thing at a time, because if you try to approach too many things at once, you become ineffective. Okay, so you're overwhelmed and you're not accomplishing anything. So that's a very important step. I also, like you, Mike, I get frustrated when things aren't moving in the direction quickly enough,
right,
in the direction I want it to go. But that's when you have the opportunity. There's an opportunity to learn. In that instance, for me, it was to learn patience. Because you know what, y'all, in hard times, in difficult, challenging times, those are the times in which your character is revealed. You find out what you really are made of, not when everything's going according to plan. Hell, that's easy. Anybody can float in that environment, right? But when you're in a situation, or many situations that are adverse, that's when your character is revealed. What do you do in the hard times? Do you just quit, tuck tail, and run? Or do you press in and press through?
And like you said, you looked at your own accountability for what happened.
Yes.
And that's a big key too, is we have to see where we're at fault in our situation.
That's step one.
And like for me, it could be that, being ADHD and OCD, sometimes we can be too organized and too, to the extreme where I'm like, this has to be perfect. And honestly, I need to just let it go so I can get on to my next task.
Right.
So it's taking your accountability and things like that. So I know this podcast is shorter than normal because of the heat. What are some things that you can advise our listeners? Like, what have you done, or what are some things that the playbook that you took, the steps you took in your playbook?
So the playbook is very important, and I immediately went to it. Even like right when it happened, when you and I left, I immediately. One of the things in my playbook is take responsibility for what happens. Like, that's first and foremost. I always do that. Second is I found something that just put me in a great space, and that was thinking about the show that we had in 2 hours. So I knew we had a show to do in 2 hours, so I just thought about that. After the show, I went home and I listened to Abraham Hicks. I listened to one of her
She's
YouTube
good.
videos,
Yeah,
right?
I'm familiar.
I listened to one of her videos. That put me in a great space. And then even after that, I immediately called you, Angelo, and we went out for a drink.
That's right.
So something else is in my playbook is to call a friend and go hang out and just not even talk about the situation, but just enjoy a conversation and, just in a different environment. Like I had, because, sometimes people, whatever's going on, they stay in that environment. Like you sometimes got to get out of the environment.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great key right there. The connecting with someone, not only just anyone, but someone that you can, someone you trust and know that you can share good energy with. And because when you're in a down place, when you're in this rough spot, you want uplifting energy.
Yeah.
You need someone to walk with you out of this thing. You know what I'm saying? Not someone that's going to sit in squalor with you. You know what I'm saying? In self-pity with you.
Yeah, and you gotta you can vent. You talk about letting people vent for 5-10 minutes,
Right.
and then you're like, all right, so let's now talk about
Solution now.
the solution, and let's not be a pity party,
Right.
and stuff like that. And what are your steps to get?
But that's what I was saying earlier on in the show. So a lot of people, when they do want to vent longer and they want to bitch and complain about the situation and not taking responsibility, they want to point fingers and blame everything else. All you doing is prolonging the situation.
That's it.
And so you're going to be in this miserable space for longer than what you really need to be.
Absolutely.
You
And when you get right to the point, acknowledge your own bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
And look at it dead on and deal with it straight on.
Right.
Another thing is when you're in those situations, man, don't stop doing taking the actions that are yielding positive results. Because a lot of times there's a pressure to just say, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to do none of this shit.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's what you don't want to do, because you're going to need those actions are still going to yield positive results.
Right.
So keep doing what you're doing despite the challenge, despite what rises up in the midst of you're doing. Keep pressing into that thing, provided you're doing the right things.
Well, you could have just said, you know what, forget the podcast on Friday. You could have been like, I can't do this. But
I could have easily did that.
You
Of course.
couldn't. And I'm sure there was part of you like, oh, just forget this. And then when we got here, there was some things too, like the podcast, because your headspace was different. So it could have just been like, you know what, let's just reschedule. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Just like today.
Oh yeah, today.
In the fiery furnace
It's
we're sitting in right now.
No,
I'm melting, guys.
And I know we're trying to keep this one short, but one other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick was that because we was talking about this as well, and I really wanted to kind of label this as suicide prevention, right?
Right.
And it's something that we touched on a few times, even and it's funny. This is real funny because we were just at the Modern Tea Room earlier today, and we ran into Danny.
Oh yeah, right.
And Danny, the interior designer. Shout out to Gabby. Shout out to Danny. So when we had her on the show, you remember how we was talking about we don't have suicidal thoughts, right? But we understand why people commit suicide, right? So even when I was going through my situation that weekend, I think it was Saturday. So it happens Friday, and then Saturday I was at home, and I was kind of just going in my mind thinking, and it brought me back to that one influencer girl who a couple months ago I was telling you about, who committed suicide, but she had 4 million followers, right? And I didn't understand why she did that, because she was helping so many people, and everybody, once she committed suicide, everybody was like, oh yeah, she helped me do this, blah blah blah, right? And then I was like, yeah, because when I help people, I feel good, right? Yeah. But then you made a good point, Diana, saying, yeah, she did help a lot of people, but no one checked on her. Right. And so those thoughts went through my mind too, and I was like, well, damn, I know I help a lot of people, but no one, I was at home Saturday, and no one checked on me, and it just made me think about that, right. And I did, and I don't want to minimize the people that did check on me on that weekend, and told me they was praying for me, and actually helped me through it. But it was just a moment on Saturday where that just kind of ran through my mind. Yeah. So.
And sometimes for me, I'm the type of person that I need my space.
Right.
like right now I'm going through a lot, and so like I am MIA, and that's how I am able to deal with it, because I have to refill me. If I don't fill myself, I can't give nothing to me. I'll be empty.
Right.
So that's where I'm at right now. Like a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you're not out or you're not this. Like, no. Like literally, if I could be home for 7 days, like I would, because I'm trying to refill myself right now. And that's where like everybody's different that deals with stress. For me, I have to disappear. And you can ask my husband, and he's like, you're a runner. I'm like, I'm a runner. Like when shit gets real, like I'm out for a minute. Like I do not disturb. Like I don't want to even see. And like my own grandma calls me and it's on the do not disturb.
But you come back though.
I come back. But I need that. Like you needed just maybe the day to like, all right. Because I feel also like when someone comes to me and like, is everything okay? If I'm not ready to talk about it, or if I'm not ready to deal with it, it just makes it worse, because then I'll sit there and talk about my problems and my woes, and then it's like I go home and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling even worse. So that's like, for me, I have a hard time when I'm going through something. Sometimes I'm just like, I have to delete the noise.
And you
all
know,
the noise, even if it's like it's not, it's, you know, it's, they're trying to be helpful, they're trying to be there for me. That for me, it doesn't work. Like I literally need to reorganize my head, reorganize my task list or whatever it is I'm dealing with, so that I can come back and be the same. What is it? Jeanette called me explosive.
Explosive.
She's like, you're explosive. So I can be that person again, because people notice when I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that. And so I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but like literally I'm like, while someone was talking to me, I'm literally in my head like, you still have to do these 10 tasks today, don't forget. And I'm trying not to like overwhelm myself. Right. And they're talking to me and I'm like, I'm trying to listen to them, because you don't even know. Like yesterday, I had multiple people come talk to me, and it wasn't even business talk. They were talking to me about them and like what they're going through. And it's so great to be here. And thank you so much for doing this, because I really needed this. And I needed this because of this. This is going on. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, like you're going through it too. And then the next person, I'm like, shit, we're all just like, yeah. Yes. But at the same time, it was draining.
Right.
Also. So it's like, for me, I have to step away. I can't be there and
no, I'm very similar when I'm dealing with some obstacle, some serious situation. For me, I have to take the time to process. You know, I get into I read something. I walk a lot of miles a month. I walk, and I meditate. These are things that I do regularly, so that when hard times come, I can still be me.
It's your playbook.
It's my playbook. Exactly.
It is your playbook.
And that's and you know, every time you go, like, I can't believe you crazy as hell out there walking 115 degrees. That's what I do. It's exercise, yeah, but it's meditative for me, and it's how I process and work out problems, because I'm thinking. And I'm feeling, and I have music going on. Sometimes I'll play my trumpet. We all have our ways of coping with stress. Yeah. But I think it's important to embrace what you know about you and embrace your process, because eventually the world that's missing us, they're going to be thankful that we took that time
to refill
for ourselves to refill. Because otherwise, as you said, Diana, there's nothing to give.
Right.
I mean, I'm sitting right here and I'm like, got a lot going on, guys. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm here. Right. And I'm here. But definitely there's a
Believe
lot.
me.
Like,
right now, I think this is a season of, I got a lot of shit going on.
Yeah.
But we all do. You know, and that's why I said at the top of the show is, no matter who you are in the world, you know, there's 7 billion people in the world, and everybody, I don't care who you are, you're going to go through obstacles. There's no escaping it.
Centuries. Like,
you know,
everyone has.
Right. There's not one person in the world that's never been through obstacles.
And they all want to feel heard.
Right.
They all want to feel like they matter. And it's just.
So it gets back to the human connection, right? Because we're all, human beings go through the same stuff. We just don't understand and realize and know that other people are dealing with what I'm dealing with.
Right.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
No.
No. And that's, I think, is what's important when you talk about thoughts, suicidal thoughts, and preventing those things. It's being, first off, connected with having a loving network.
podcast community. I mean, having this as an outlet now, I mean, we reach people that we may never even know that listen to it.
That's right.
But they're hearing us say, we are struggling, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with that. We're just like everybody else. We're just like you. So if you're sitting there and you're listening to this podcast right now and you're like, man, this day or this is happening to me, I'm falling apart. Like, we're literally saying this to you right now. Like, yeah, we're right there. But the thing is, the difference is, don't give up, keep going, keep pushing. Take a moment, take that breath, but get right back into it. It all works out. Like the worst possible things can happen, but at the end of the day, like, it always works out if you keep going.
And that's why I said again at the top of the show is, even like I put this on my Instagram a lot, that I'm no exception to the rule. Like, a lot of people always just come up to me, you got great energy. I love how positive you are. But I still go through shit, and that's why I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to come on the show or post on Instagram that, hey, I'm going through stuff too. But again, I think the difference is because a few years ago I started doing mindset training, and that's why I came up with the playbook, and that's why I think it's very important. And, this is giving a great analogy of analogy of a playbook. Abraham Hicks talks about this, how it's called shock observers, right? So, like, if you're in a old beat up car that you don't take care of, right, and you're driving down the street, you don't get an oil change, you don't get a car wash, you don't do none of these things to fix your car, you're gonna feel every bump on the road, right? But if you're in a nice, clean car, a nice prestige car, like maintained, then those that stuff you're not gonna feel, because they're shock absorbers, right? So that's where I always tell people you need a playbook, because for some reason when we're adults we think that we got it all figured out, right? We don't work on our mindsets. And I started a couple of years ago, and that's why I tell people, like, start now. And I'm not saying if you go get a playbook, you put together your playbook today, tomorrow everything's going to be fine, right? It's not. It takes time. Like, I started mine a couple of years ago, and that's why now when things happen to me, yes, I still feel it. I still get annoyed and frustrated for the process. But at the same time, it bounces off of me because of my shock absorbers. Like, it doesn't hurt as much. Like, I know how to accept it and go through it and be okay. Like, that Friday when we went out, I was fine. Like, we was hanging out at Big Shots, I think. I think we was cool. I was like, okay. Absolutely. I was like, I'm in it. It is what it is. Let's get through it.
And and we spoke those words. Yeah. And what I say, this too shall end.
Exactly.
I mean, we're in it now, but this is always going to be the case. And you know what? And I think that's really key, though. You're talking about mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. Right. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. Listen, if your head is full of trash, then when you meet challenges, hard stuff, and all you got is the trash that you put in, there's no good substance that you've been feeding and nursing on, well, you're gonna suffer.
Right. The sad part is that, like, high schools and stuff like that don't offer something like this, because a playbook should be built and provided before, when they're adolescent, so that it's something that's instilled in them, so when they become an adult, it's not a shocker. Like, life's hard. No, duh. Like, yeah, that's why I have my playbooks, and it's, I think maybe with, technology the way it is more obtainable for people to start, but really, and it's like, it's this trickle down effect, right? The parents are overworked. We're too busy to sit here and talk to our kids about, hey, this is what's going on. This is how we're dealing with it. So there's no education, no training provided, because that opportunity is not available, because the parents are working 24/7. Right. So what do the kids do? They commit suicide because they don't realize that this is how life is. You have a playbook. So I wish that something like that was more available early on, like even for my son, he's 15, and not that he doesn't come off as, having, issues like that, but at the same time, who knows, who really knows that, like the smiling, happiest, bubbliest person could internally be thinking about suicide. So you don't know, right? But I wish it was more something that was enforced and made available in every high school, at least high school, if not junior high, to build our children with that other extra layer of protection.
Yeah. Right. And I would call that real talk. In other words, talking to your young people about real life.
Yeah. No sugarcoating.
No sugarcoating, because that you're going to put them in a position. You're going to put them in fantasy land.
Right, and that's why I always say that's why I don't sugarcoat nothing, because life is not going to sugarcoat it.
No.
So why am I? Like, I'm gonna give it to you raw, just like life is.
There is an appropriate way to tell real truths
Right.
to young people. I've done it my son's whole lives. Okay, from the time they were when they were little toddlers, there's a way to break all that down and build upon it throughout their lives, so that when they're out on their own, this isn't a surprise. Guess what? This shit is hard.
Yeah.
You know, but
It's the moments. That's what I
yes.
tell my son. I said, it's not about life being easy. It's the moments that make it just perfect to be there. And like, you know, it's those, like, it's like I said, having him, like, you're my moment. You're one of my moments, you know. Now there's other bullshit that happens, but I think about, oh, my baby, you know, my kids, you know, my husband. Like, there's moments, and that's what you live for.
Right. Those times when it's the hardest, you have to know, you have to have a big enough why.
Mm-hmm.
Your why has to be so big that it can carry you through, drag you through whatever difficulties you're dealing with. As long as your why and your purpose is big enough, and usually that takes it beyond yourself, okay? If it's big enough, it will get you through the hardest of times. You'll have a reason to push forward, to press through.
Absolutely.
So,
No, absolutely. So yeah, I know Diana's over here dying.
Let's balance, y'all.
This time.
Out.
No, so
I'm out of
so
paper
yeah.
towels, Susan.
You know what?
I'm out of paper towels.
I said he had a paper towel.
All right, guys, so hopefully next week will be different. We'll have some AC up in this week.
No, absolutely.
We're going to be switching locations.
Hey, no, we're going to be doing this in the car.
Anybody have a portable AC?
So actually, I do have a portable AC. I might be bringing it next week, but yeah, we are out of here, you guys, because it is out here. But we just wanted to jump on here and just talk about that. If you guys want to talk about your situations and just have a conversation, again, we don't give advice. We just having conversations because we just like to talk it through with everybody. If you want to talk through something, call us 747-999-8021. Again, 747-999-8021, or hit me up on IG at 1NELife Brand. Hit Diana up at Socialholic TV. Even hit Angelo up at Angelo Gant
That's right.
on IG. We're always here to talk about, you know, whatever. Just have these conversations because, trust me, they're healthy. They're needed. One of the things that's in my playbook is to have conversations with people because you just never know what word or phrase or just something that might spark an idea that might help you get out of your situation. And sometimes it's great to just have this conversation with a stranger.
Absolutely.
That works a lot. So hit us up, you guys. Don't be shy. Don't be in your bubble.
Don't lock yourself away in despair.
Yeah. So.
Wake up.
Anyways, we out here going down to the lobby.
See you guys next week.
See you guys next week. We out.